Okay, so now we're back. This is the second video, and this is kind of the nuts and bolts of the course. This is where I will go through the weekly forms that the students need to turn in and kind of give you an indication of what the students need to be doing. Clinical forms helps. So here is in this folder, I'm going to go over these forms, but I want to point out that there is a section in our ONG site that kind of gives you an idea of a student completing these forms and what you're looking for, and to just give you a little bit of direction when you're looking at student work. And it's under Clinical Forms Helps. So information in Helps, it's on our 375 ONG site. And if you click on this, it will take you to the helps for the forms that we're going to be looking at. So have no fear. All right, so here are the blank forms. You can get these to the students any way you want. You can move them onto our Moodle site or your Moodle site, your particular Moodle site. You can download them to a folder and then upload them to your Moodle site, or you can print them off, give the students one hard copy, and require them to bring copies every other week. However you do it is up to you. So when students arrive at clinical the very first day on the half day, they're going to receive their patient assignment and they are going to look at the following forms. They're going to use this assessment data collection tool. All right, and in order to stay in the recorded box, I have to keep it little. But as you can see, the students should be assessing their patient several times. Now, on that first day, you'll need to decide what you realistically expect them to get done in that half day. They're collecting information, they're trying to decide on a diagnosis, and remember, this is their first acute care clinical. So they're obviously their name, date, the morbidities, and then maybe you just want them to do this first page that first day. Go in and meet their patient, say hello, do this first set of things. Maybe you want them to do those first set of things in a focused assessment if they are there for pneumonia, or if they're there for a stroke, although I think we're calling stroke circulatory now, their textbooks are not. So whatever you decide for them to do that first day. On that second day, obviously they'll want to at least do vital signs and such, but let them use the entire day to collect the rest of this information. This is quite extensive on their part. My hope is that by the end of the second day, they've been able to fill all of this out. And then here they have some organization of clinical day 2 if they find that useful or if you want them to use it. So they'll be using that as a help for them. And then they have this clinical prep tool that they should go home and work on after that first day. And again, to keep it in here, I'll make it a little bigger. Okay, here we go. So here they're going to highlight some information about their patient and then give themselves a stab at a care plan. They're probably going to use their ACLY book to come up with diagnoses, and we really just want them to hit one. I mean, here they're going to do them all. I'm pointing to it as if you can see me from where you are, and you can't. So they're going to do them all, but in their final care plan, we're looking at them to hit one. And they're going to need some direction. They can't do psychosocial every week. And if you're on a cardiac unit, you might have to get a little inventive to try to get their thinking to go other places with their care plans. So in addition, there's some directions for them that you can go over with them. We have a form for their lab and diagnostic testing. How you use this form is up to you. Again, there is a help on this page to help you know if you want the student to fill out the pertinent ones, if you want the student to fill out all of them the first few weeks and then fill out the pertinent one. However you best want the student to look at these. All right, this is the diagnostic one, and here's the medication one. Now, some instructors allow students to share meds. I mean, everybody's on furosemide, everybody's on aspirin, everybody might be on Tylenol. You can require your students to do one of these for every medication that the patient is on, or you can allow them to just do it on the meds that they are given. Whatever works for you. And then here is the nursing care plan. So this is what they're going to turn into for you. And it's kind of self-explanatory. Make sure they can cite some evidence and whether or not their outcomes are met. In addition to the care plan, they do a clinical journal. And it's just a reflective journal, right? Because reflection shows learning. Pick something that was meaningful to you, integrate some frameworks, what makes it meaningful, what insight did they have. It doesn't necessarily have to be positive. They might tell you something negative that happened. And the first week, they all do one, and then the group is split in two. Here is the clinical performance criteria document, and I will show it to you and go over it briefly because there is another video that explains it in depth. At midterms, you will not go to clinical, you will meet with your students. Here are the outcomes for the course. Here are some performance criterion that helps them meet that outcome. They do not have to hit every one of these to be successful. This is just to guide your thinking and the students' thinking when making the judgment. Then you have them use the Likert scale to say where they feel that they're at. Most students in this level are right in here. You want some behavioral evidence of that from the student, and then you will write some behavioral evidence. So the student will come with this done. You'll have a conversation with the student at midterms. This is what you're doing well. This is what I'd like you to work on. This is how we move forward. And every criteria is addressed in this way with these helps for you. Now, when you do these again at the end of the course, I would like you to be able to write me a paragraph and give me one clinical example where the student was stellar. Because the final clinical performance criteria is uploaded into our student file. And we'll talk about that more as the time gets close, but I want you to be able to think about that. But this is the document we use that judges the student throughout the course. Now, that isn't to say that you can't expect the students have had skills, so they should come with their skills. However, keep in mind that the only time they may have used their skills could have been in the simulation center or the clinical skills lab at this stage in their career. So these are the forms that the students use. So I will show you your Moodle site, and I'm going to show a few of them. Okay, and again, you won't have as many because I'm the course manager, I have them all. So section 2, see the syllabus is here and I do have the forms here for them already. And how you utilize the rest of this is up to you. I know that there are, what is the word I'm looking for? Blah, left me, sorry. Courses, they have Moodle courses that you can take if you're interested. And each one of you have a site that looks very, very much like that. Okay. Now some instructors have been here a while. Ooh, I don't know what that was. Sorry, that was a mistake. And so their site is set up. And I picked the wrong one. Here we go. So she has them hidden, but So she has some things, and this is how she does what she's doing. All right, so that is kind of the nuts and bolts of the course. If you have any questions about any of this, you can let me know. Again, once I know who all you folks are, I'll get you enrolled in this ongoing course. So then what will come up on Moodle is you'll have this 2018 FA and your section will be listed, and you'll see this ongoing course, and you'll have this N375 that you can click on to be where I just was. Oh, I did forget one thing, and I'm glad I remembered it. The learning contract. The form is listed in the forms, and I didn't open it for you, or the learning database. Ooh, good thing I came back here. The learning database, I would ask your students to complete, print out, and bring that first day. This is just some things that let you know about the student. Most of them will probably already have it filled out because it says it's due the day of clinical orientation. And this is just to give you a handle on where the student is at and what can be expected. What are some things I fear and dread? What do you expect to be doing? Other commitments, learning style, just kind of to give you a bird's eye view of your student. The other form I wanted to talk to you about in 11 minutes and 38 seconds is here is the learning contract. So you have a copy. That's all I really want to say is that you have a copy here. And again, if you feel your student is not going to be successful, mostly these are done when a student is not showing up on time, not turning in their work on time. And then we do this professional standards of nursing care. Your students will have times of simulation. The very first simulation they will do is a skills fair. Your responsibility at the skills fair is to show up at the simulation center. You will be in the room with a mannequin and a sim center coordinator, and the students will be doing a basic assessment on the mannequin so that you can see where their assessment skills are before you enter the clinical setting. There's also other stations for the students to go through to practice things like IV insertion, Foley insertion. I think we have one for sub-Q injections, maybe an IM injection because it's fall and we'll be giving flu shots, just different stations. So your group will be divided up in twos and they will rotate throughout prior to you going to the clinical site so you can have an idea of where they're at. There are other simulations throughout the semester. They're located in your syllabus. Having said that, I say that with this caveat. We have a new simulation coordinator, and I have to tell you that the simulation calendar has been changed multiple times. So I would use the contacts on that first PowerPoint that I gave you to just rest assured before your clinical, if you want to email Penny, and say, are we still a go? You know, I have us on this day to attend this function in the Sim Center. Are we still set to go? All right. If you have any questions, feel free to call me or text me. Just let me know who you are. Just kind of give me a little context of what you're needing. And thank you for coming, and welcome to Over.